Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Nerd Age, where we discuss everything nerdy. My name is Mick. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Josh.
What's up?
Cory.
Hey, what's going on?
And Jona.
Hello.
Welcome to this episode, guys. Today, we're going to be talking about Stranger Things, Season 4, Volume 1, first 7 episodes. Do you guys want to do like a
spoiler heavy? No.
Or just spoiler right away?
Yeah. Everyone's watching.
Okay, spoiler right away. Yeah. So if you haven't watched it,
we're not messing around.
Spoiler alert. So make sure you guys get out there and watch the show.
So I guess we should just open it up and just say general thoughts on it. Like, compared to the other seasons, how are you guys feeling about this one? Best one?
Yeah.
What about
best,
you, Mick?
Best one.
Best?
Yeah, I'm in the same
by
boat.
far.
That's my yeah.
Don't you guys think season 3 was pretty okay? Or do you think it goes 4, 3?
I think each one got better and better as it went along. Yeah.
I'd say in order from best to worst. 4, 3,
1, 2.
1, 2.
Yeah, me too.
I would say, but it's just very narrowly because 2 was still good, but I felt like it covered kind of very similar to the first season, and then season 3 and 4 have been very different. Like still with the same kind of themes and stuff, but I just feel like season 2 and 1 were very similar.
On my rewatch of 2, I did skip that. I think it was the second to last.
Oh, the
episode.
X-Men ones.
Yeah, I think that episode's pretty boring, so I skipped that one.
Yeah. I think that was coming into the 4th season. I was interested to see how they kind of avoid rehashing the same stuff, right? Because it's kind of linear. In how they're dealing with this. It's like, okay, there's an issue with the Upside Down. They have to figure it out and solve that problem. And it's like, how do you keep doing that with it being like interesting? Because we've already done it a couple times, right?
Yeah.
The 3rd season was awesome because there's an epic bad guy. And it's like, well, how do you up that big old tank of a thing? And I think that season 4 has done a really good job with Vecna and kind of making a more complicated bad guy.
Yeah.
Something a little bit more intellectual. And I think it was really cool. I'm really happy with how they kind of have varied it up. But yeah, what do you guys think?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know if I'd be like, oh, I'm a huge diehard Stranger Things fan. But every time I watch the seasons, I'm like, that is really good. Yeah. Like every time I watch, any episode or any of the seasons, it's always like it sticks with me for a while. And it's not necessarily something that I like think about all the time. Like with Star Wars, I'm always thinking about Star Wars basically, or some of my other fandoms that I like.
I'm always I got Star Wars on my mind, baby.
He wakes up.
Exactly.
What would Obi-Wan be doing?
Exactly. Misa's so tired. But Stranger Things, it's just they've consistently been a really good show, and I think that's pretty impressive. To keep up that level of quality and like keeping me interested for every season. Like very rarely I'm like, oh, well, another season of Stranger Things is coming out. Yeah. They jumped the shark last season. You know what I mean? Right. It's every season I'm excited for the next one.
Because I think they're mixing it up really well. And that's what I'm trying to say, like, is they could fall into that trap where it's like, oh, another season of this.
Retread or whatever.
They're just rewriting the same episodes and the same story arc and everything. But they're not. What do you guys think about the opening, kind of how last season introduced the different paths that the different people were going? How'd you guys think that kind of played out in this season?
I actually think that they handled it pretty well, especially since I think this is the one that they had the most like people in different places doing their own little thing.
There's a lot.
I was actually really pleased with how they did it because I was afraid of that. I was like, wow, there's like a lot of different subplots happening, and is it going to be difficult to keep track? But I actually thought it was pretty good. Some I didn't care about as much as others, but as far as like being comprehensive and understanding it, it was really well done.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think that I was just going to say to tag on that. I think the weakest, like whenever they follow Mike and Jonathan and Argyle, I think that to me is kind of the weakest.
That was his weakest. Okay. Interesting.
Part. I'm always like, once 11 got into the facility, I was really intrigued by, okay, we're going to see what happens, all that. I thought the stuff in Hawkins was really good.
Yeah.
And I like the stuff in Russia and having to figure out all that stuff. But whenever they got to Mike, maybe it's because I think I don't like him. I think he's probably my least favorite character in the show. To me, that stuff is always like, okay, let's get to the other stuff, which I think is bound to happen in any show that has like, it's still like I'm saying, it's not like bad, but it's just like not my favorite. I always find myself being like, okay, let's get back to Hawkins, or let's go get to Hopper or something.
I mean, that was probably my least favorite. I mean, their story is basically just they're running away from this agency.
It's so funny because
people with guns. Or something.
I've heard kind of mixed on that because when you have so many different paths, you have to talk about, well, what was your favorite? What was the weakest? I've actually kind of seen some people talk about how people didn't really like Hopper's story as much.
I've heard that too, yeah.
And I don't know.
Crazy talk.
I know. See, I agree. It is crazy.
Hopper's so good.
I thought his story was awesome. And the character that they introduced, what was his name again?
The Russian dude?
Enzo. I don't know what his real name is.
But Enzo, yeah. I actually really liked him. He was actually really well done. And it was really good. Yeah. I like the character. What was the airplane?
Yuri? No, not Yuri.
Yuri. That was good. I thought that was all really well done. I didn't anticipate him stabbing in the back. I should. They're in Russia. Of course they're going to get stabbed in the back.
Russians. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, this is like a dark...
commies.
I mean, it's a dark deal. You know what I mean? Like, this is not legal in any way, shape, or form. Like, wasn't it $40,000 or something like that? Like, I don't know. It's an easy...
And the amount of peanut butter that man had should have tipped them off.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think for me, I agree. The weakest part was the stuff in California.
Interesting. Okay.
I think it almost felt like they were like, we need these guys. They need something to do while all the good stuff's happening.
That's how it felt.
And I'm sure they'll get brought in maybe in the finale, but they weren't even in the last episode, I don't think. Because I was even thinking, they weren't. I was like, oh, we have to go back. They have to show us what's going on. I did think it was kind of funny when they show up to the house and like the Mormon family, it has all the crazy kids. It was kind of, I thought it was kind of funny. The music, to get into the music a little bit, it felt really like over the top comical. When they start on their storyline. Once they started going towards her, it was like very like Amblin type of like dun, 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 you know what I mean?
Johnny
like,
Williams
very
classic,
like so that kind of pulled me out of it a little bit, but I also don't really like what they did with Jonathan's character. Like I feel like Jonathan was a really good, like, I care about Will. I'm going to do whatever I can to save Will throughout the first 3 seasons. Yeah. Like a good older brother trying to make up for a crappy dad and stuff like that. And in this episode, he's just like, bro,
he's just a pothead.
Smoking the devil's lettuce, bro.
But guys, doesn't it kind of make sense? Like a lot of people when
California,
no.
Oh, okay.
I mean, when you're going through a really stressful time, there are some people who are just going to fall back to that and kind of just like stagnate, right?
Yeah. I understand why they did it. Yeah. I just think it was
just a weaker story choice, right?
And it was just a little over the top because I feel like they introduced other characters like the Eddie is his name, right?
Yeah. Eddie.
And I really like his character, right? Yeah. And they could have made him like he's a drug dealer.
Sorry.
And like he's a drug dealer and all this stuff, but it's not like he's a pothead. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of introduced that, but then you never address it again. But it feels like Jonathan was just kind of like, that was his whole thing. You know?
I feel like it just sucks that I think that's probably, I don't care that he's a pothead. It's just the fact that like that became his character and everything else was missing.
Right.
Like there was no other character defining moment for him.
Yeah.
And we didn't really get any explanation of him and Nancy, like why they're on the rocks, basically. And they just mentioned it.
They slowly feed a little bit of
stuff. He kind of has that thing with our guy where he's like stressing out about it, right? Where he's like doubting. And so I guess that's kind of like the whole he's like, oh, she's just doubting the relationship and stuff like that.
I guess to me, it just seemed like the writers wanted to make something happen where Nancy goes back to Steve. That's how I'm fine with. I'm fine with that too, but that's what it feels like. Yeah. It's like, oh, clearly I think more people like Steve than they do Jonathan.
Yeah, but they also like a happy relationship is a boring relationship, if that makes sense. So that drama aspect of this show needs some kind of tension. There can't just be a perfect relationship.
There always has to be a love triangle.
Always.
Jack, Sawyer, and Kate.
Yeah, I will say the best thing about the California.
So Lost, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Lost is better.
That's better.
Lost
than Lost
is better.
The best thing about the California scene for me was that when they break in and they're like,
oh, that was so well done.
like just like the
I love
that's
that,
going
yeah.
through that. I thought was really cool.
Dude, that one agent was like
I know, finally an
Hot shot,
agent that
just
was like not a
shooting
chump.
everybody.
And then the other thing that happens in California that I wanted to bring up, the real villain of all the show is the stupid DJ at the
Oh yeah, that
roller
dude
rink.
was the worst.
That guy's the villain.
Yeah.
Screw Vecna.
Wait, you're gonna blame the roller rink guy, not the girl?
Well, that guy was a full grown man and he was going along with it. He was
Yeah, going
like,
on
you want to
bullying.
bully
I blame Mike for that too.
was
Though.
like
Mike was like
Mike
driving
too.
me
I'm
crazy.
like, what do you do,
dude,
bro?
do
Go help
something.
your
Like you'd be
girlfriend.
like, and then first thing he's like, what did you do? I'm
That
like,
was
get
pretty-
at it. 11 should have just popped his head right there.
I think we were all in agreement.
can't.
We were like, yeah, that girl had it coming, dude. I was like, yeah,
Did
bro.
you? Okay,
Smoker
side
head.
note,
dope.
but did you see a
Smoker.
bunch of people that were outraged about that?
What?
Like that were angry that 11 hit the girl in
She's
the face.
broken people's
and
necks
they're like, oh my gosh, this is teaching kids to be violent towards other kids. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Play
Like,
stupid
there's all these-
games, win
all these
stupid
people
prizes.
being complaining.
Sorry,
about
did
it.
they see
in
those?
real life?
Did they see Billy die?
I know, I know. It's just like ridiculous. Like, get out of here.
Idiots. Yeah,
People will
stupid.
complain.
But I think the biggest difference this season to other ones is it got a little more, I guess, like we talked about this, I think last week.
It's a horror movie.
Well, it did. It got more. It got darker. But it kind of like, as the kids are now in high school and they're older, it kind of got more mature in like the villain too.
Yeah.
I know we've said that like they did show other things in the past, but it really had, especially on in the early episodes, it had more of a horror feel to it. But then as the season went along, it kind of got back into the, more sci-fi stuff, which I thought was really good. And then the final episode, just kind of how they did all that stuff with Vecna and Number One and kind of all that stuff. I thought just was really well done and kind of just set it up perfectly for, the next 2 episodes we're going to get in July. It kind of,
I'm kind of glad that I'm naive because I didn't see that reveal coming. It was a really cool reveal.
I sniffed it out from the get-go.
Well,
As soon as I saw it, I was like, she didn't kill those people.
yeah, that's kind of what I was along that line. I was like, oh, the way they died, they look similar, like the kids and stuff. And so I was on that track. I was like, oh, he's Vecna. And then Crystal was like, oh, he's Number One. Like he's the number one. And so we figured it out.
Hey, number
Between
one.
the two
Hey,
of
number
us.
two.
I think he was a really cool villain. I just like everything that he did. Very Freddy Krueger influenced.
Yeah.
They even bring it up in the show, talking about his boiler room and stuff like that.
Well, and then What's a Snot made a cameo.
Yeah.
Actual Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
What's his
Robert Englund.
Robert Englund,
Yeah.
He was really good.
He was good, yeah, as the creepy Victor Creel or whatever.
Such a sad thing that happened to his family. It's messed up.
Yeah, I like that, like how they tied that back into the house. Because I
Yeah.
was kind of thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, how did that work back in the 50s? Like,
Right, yeah.
why is Vecna around back in the 50s? And then to kind of do that reveal at the end.
I wasn't expecting that because they kind of make like a reference to, he's like, oh, my son was sensitive to that. And they kind of show it when he's talking about that. But then he mentions like he was in a coma and he died. So I was like, okay. But then once things started, I was like, oh, maybe he didn't die. So that was kind of cool. I wasn't expecting it to be like the kid that was doing it.
Yeah.
That was a thing that surprised me about it when it started like showing, like, I was like, oh, it's him. I wasn't expecting that. I kind of, from the beginning when they started showing him, when he's like, sleepyhead and like all that stuff, I was like, this is the guy that killed everybody. Just because I was like, he wasn't in any of the flashbacks, and now there's this creepy dude. I was like, there's a reason that they're doing that. I was like, he's the bad guy, but I wasn't expecting it to be the son.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool.
The moment they said he was in a coma, I was like, that's when I kind of started piecing it together.
Okay.
But honestly, like, as far as like pulling a fast one on people and like doing a reveal, it's really hard to like do a completely blind reveal where Mick probably had an amazing experience where it was like this episphany. It was I mean, it's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Those moments are sick.
We should have filmed a
I know,
reaction. Make sure these reactions.
Exactly.
Because we're just like, I knew it.
It was obvious.
It's like moments like that where it's like, I kind of wish I didn't figure it out because I think those moments are really awesome.
I just wish I wasn't so smart. You know what I mean? Sometimes
I just wish I was younger.
You guys should be stupid like me.
No, I just wish I was younger and maybe I wouldn't have connected as much. I don't know.
Well, I think that I would be very surprised if they had like this character Vecna planned out from season 1.
Right.
So to me, it is like, I guess, kind of a retcon a little bit, but I think it's done so well where I buy it completely that Vecna has always been there, that he's kind of been the mastermind this whole time, especially stuff with like the Mind Flayer, just the spider imagery, because the kid is like obsessed with Black Widows and everything. So I was pleased with the way they pulled that off. Thought it was really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like how they treat every single villain and monster differently.
Yeah.
Like it's just exactly like D&D. They're like, oh, he's a very powerful magic caster. Like he's
like a psychic.
He's doing different attacks. Basically, it's not like the foot soldier with the Demogorgon. We can't just attack it. We need to like figure out how to. He's attacking people in a different way, and I think that's really cool how they kind of like incorporate that in.
Yeah.
And just kind of the way it worked out with Vecna. I thought that was pretty cool.
What do you guys think about the mechanic? I would say about the whole favorite song kind of bringing you out of it. How'd you feel about that?
Okay, so Max, I think she was like one of the highlights of
I agree.
this volume 1. That scene with her running, trying to get back to the real world, the right side up, I guess. Oh, it was so well done. Just like the tension and the release of her like coming back was just so good. And yeah, I think it's a cool way to bring people back, because I think that's like a real life thing that people who are like in comas respond to music and stuff.
People that are going to get killed by Vecna.
Right.
You'll bring them out.
That's how you bring them out of the upside down.
My whole thing is, how come not every single one of them got
Headphones,
a Walkman, and we're like,
with
hey,
their
this is
favorite song.
my favorite song.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, you'd
right?
think they would
You'd be
figure that out,
hey,
like, right
he
now.
can get anyone. We're kind of going after this guy. He might target us.
That's the first thing.
We've all got trauma in our lives, so hey, maybe we get.
I'm gonna be listening to Weird Al Eat It on repeat.
I know. Like, so that's kind of I mean, I think it's kind of, well, I guess I won't say it because it might be a spoiler, but I mean,
For spoiler for what?
they showed a trailer. Like in the original trailer, there were scenes that were in for this season that,
So
like
volume
him,
2.
yeah, him playing the electric guitar. I'm like, that's how they're gonna
Get Nance out of
get Nance out of it.
Yeah.
He's just gonna blast that electric.
He just gotta
Hopefully
play the
knows
right
his
song.
favorite song.
Yeah. I will say, that whole episode of I think it's called Dear Billy. I think episode 4. It's probably one of my favorite Stranger Things episodes.
Yeah.
Like just from start to finish, it's like super well done.
It had great pacing, really good writing, good acting,
And the whole music reveal at the end is like, you've seen Max. It's just really well written.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen Max with their headphones on the whole time, and then it just doesn't click until the end where you're like, oh, that's her favorite song. That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
And I think Stranger Things is at its best when they're going through and they're figuring things out. Like everyone's going through.
Yeah.
There's different groups doing different things. So in that episode, you've got them going to Creel House. They're going through the other stuff.
Like when they did the lights.
Right.
it feels
in the
very
finale.
like not Scooby Doo, but like an old school detective.
I would say,
Definitely,
I would say definitely.
I need a
stuff.
scene where they're
little
running
bit-
through and go through one door and then they go through the other.
Like when they broke up and they all like spread out between the house and stuff like that. That just gave me the same kind of vibes. Yeah.
Something really just is cool about a haunted house. It just, I don't know.
There's something nostalgic about this show that just there's so many facets of it that are nostalgic that I think they just hit on really well. How'd you guys feel about the basketball boys?
I would say that's one of the subplots that I feel like probably could have been cut down. I mean, it is true to like real world where a bunch of
Basketball players are jerks.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I
Real
grew up
world.
with. But
They think they're so strong they can go hunt a killer.
right,
Nice.
But like
bats.
the whole D&D thing that people thought it was
Yeah.
demonic when it was really popular in the 80s
I mean,
and everything.
it was a real thing, and I mean, talking to older people today, they're still like,
Like I remember when I was persecuted.
So it's cool. It was a really good depiction of it.
I didn't mind the I thought it was actually that arc where they're looking for Eddie. I thought it moved the story along and kind of gave stakes to be like, are they going to find him? I thought it was well done. The part that I was like a little bit like, okay, like when he goes and gives the speech,
yeah.
I was just
he's a speech guy, dude. We saw him give it in the first one.
And I know they kind of did that with like, he's with high school, but I'm like, but at the same time, he's just a high schooler. And the fact that like everyone,
he's a state champion,
that everyone was like, yeah, let's go. That was a little like, okay, I'll go with it, but it
like
was
not
a little
listening to the pleas.
It was a little far fetched. Yeah. Which leads me to the other thing is the parents in Hawkins are the worst parents in the world.
There's no show if there's good parents in this.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out.
They're kind of NPCs.
Parents ever. Like for 4 seasons now, we've had kids getting murdered, and they're still like,
that's kind of
hey, where are the kids at?
That's kind of a trope, though, right?
Yeah, it's a horror movie trope.
Like, I mean, this takes a lot of inspiration from like Stephen King stuff, and the adults are always just like,
yeah, but that's morons. One movie or one book. This is like 4 years of them being like, kid got murdered again. Where's Barb go? Okay, like. After a while, you're like, yeah, these parents do really.
There's no story with cool.
Was there a part in the story thus far, first through 4th season, where they like locked down a kid in their house and they had to like sneak out to go do stuff?
Didn't they do that in season 2?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is they've done a little bit of it. I'm just surprised they don't do it more to keep their kids safe.
Are you supposed to chain them up?
I mean,
maybe
it's pretty rough.
I'm just
or maybe move
an observation. I'm always like, man, these parents are the worst. Or they're like, there they go again. They're like running after, like, come back. They're, like, dang it.
They're on their bikes. We can never catch them. If only we had a car.
I think so. The reason why I brought up the basketball storyline is because I actually felt that was the weakest part for me. I think it felt a little flat. Felt like some of the story points kind of just like hit a dead end, and maybe in the next 2 episodes that are going to come out, I'm going to be like, oh no, that was super worth it. The payoff was awesome. But I don't know. They were trying to do this tension with Lucas.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and it resolved really quickly.
I get it. Yeah. And I'm like, was there more to it? No, I think that's pretty much it. Like he just hopped. So I was like, it felt like a little weak. And that was the weakest part of the story, I would say.
I think that part was probably the best part of that weakest part with the basketball players, because that is like something that
the best part of the weakest part was.
All right, follow me here.
I got you.
Because I mean, that is a very like real thing that happens with friends.
Yeah,
you grow up,
conflict
you have
of interest.
different interests.
Not us.
Yeah,
we've always stayed strong.
Liar.
We're nerds and jocks. We're jerds.
Sure.
That storyline actually worked
Jock
for me.
nerds.
Yeah.
Especially with the Lucas stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was 100% like, Lucas is going to sell him out, that a-hole.
You thought so?
I was 100% in.
All right.
I was like, Lucas, he's had a track record in the past seasons of kind of being an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, if he's going to do it, he's going to sell him out. And then I was like, when they did the reveal of them being at Hopper's cabin, I was like, Lucas, you son of a bee.
Yeah.
Came through.
That's
I fist pumped. I
think those are the 2 characters that I'd be totally okay with them killing. Is Lucas? I'd be like, good riddance, and Mike. Mike has got to go. If they kill 11 over Mike, I'm gonna be like,
kill 11. Steve's a goner. For one.
I think Steve for real is gone.
I feel like Steve's on the chopping
dead.
block.
Yeah,
100%.
Man, that's gonna be heartbreaking if that comes to light.
But to be fair, haven't there been instances where there has been an infection of some sort? Haven't they already killed someone off from like an infection from a bite?
I don't think he's gonna get an infection.
Well, he already had like the bite marks. They looked kind of like pussy.
Yeah.
So that might be something.
Upside down pus.
And season 3, 11 had the same thing with mind flayer stuff. It was kind of, she had
and Will too, and in 2 he had
the slug inside.
And they had to like burn it out of him.
Yeah, he had the mind flayer inside of him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna die. Actually, yeah, I think he'll be saved by 11.
I'm willing to sacrifice him as long as it's a Mike also goes.
A twofer.
You got it out for Mikey, dude.
I can't stand Mike. I think he's
poor Wolfhard. He just no love for Wolfhard.
I just think I don't know if it's the way they're writing him or the way he's acting, but he comes across especially in these later episodes, like super whiny and like.
Well, I feel like his character hasn't really changed.
No, it's been the same guy, and I'm like, dude, you've seen like 11 do so many things, and you're still like, oh, God, I don't know. He just drives me nuts. Yeah, it just drives me nuts. And he does the same thing with like, he yells at his other friends and yells at Will, and then like, to me, it's just like, dude, yeah, this guy can go, and I'd be fine.
I think that, at that age, you try to be cool, and I think that's what he's trying to do. If I have to bat for him a little bit.
Don't bat for him. Everyone just.
I like the guy. I actually like the actor. The actor.
He's good in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I like the actor, but the character not so much. He is dumb. He's like overly like oblivious to what's going on, and I get it. Like they're trying
self-centered, guys.
They're trying to play off that like
self-centered.
Oh,
they're trying to play off that like Elle is like
soft-centered.
I don't know what he said.
Soft serve.
He's soft served. Yeah. No. I mean, they're trying to play off that Elle was basically hiding everything from him, and so he's oblivious. He's just acting normal, and then he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
But he's acting too dumb, in my opinion, so that's the weakness. I hope they actually do something with his character a little bit more interesting. The other character, I don't know about you guys, but I think needs a little bit more love or development is probably Will. How do you guys feel about Will?
I feel like Will throughout this whole show has been kind of getting the short end of the stick. Even though he's been like the main like focus of a lot of it, it just seems like he's not really like involved that much, if that makes sense.
He definitely gets like he's lost in the first one.
Right.
And the second one he's the mind flayer, basically.
Yeah.
And they have to he's basically gotten the short end of the stick for sure.
Right. So yeah, I would like to see more from him.
Yeah. He feels really vanilla to me. Like he doesn't have like strong characteristics one way or the
He's
other.
an artist, bro.
Okay.
He's got the worst hair out of the bunch. Right?
I love his interview.
I hate my hair.
I love
Consistently, I feel like he's always had the worst hair.
I saw there's a meme out there. It's a picture of him when he's a kid, and his hair's really like long, and they're like, his head grew, but his hair didn't.
Just shrinks.
I wish they just shaved right here and he had the monk cut.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I'd agree. But I think it's those California, like they had to get Elle away from them to do her own thing. And then it's kind of like, what do we do with these guys? Well, they're going to be driving across the country to get back to Hawkins or, like.
And Will's just like witnessing what's happening to Elle, but he doesn't have really anything much going on.
He like maybe tries to help her out.
Yeah.
They're playing stuff with his character, which whether I think they might be playing the fact that he's gay or something. I think that's kind of something that they're doing.
I
in
feel
the
like
show.
they've set it up, and they've said things in other seasons like similar to that. So if they go that route, I honestly wouldn't be surprised.
And I'm wondering if that's gonna like they're making him be awkward because he's very awkward and like especially with Mike and 11 and like in past seasons they said something like where he's like, why don't you like any girls or something like that? And he's like, well, maybe I don't like, he said something like that. So I think like they've been setting that up. So I don't know if they're trying to play something up where that it's going to be a bigger thing. But I feel like that kind of plays into the awkwardness a little bit of his character. Yeah. Is there's something there going on. And they've also like set up things that there hasn't been a payoff. Like in the first episode, they give you the thing like he's been painting something, but he doesn't let me see it, and then he wants to give it to Mike, and then
it's Mike
before
on a
they
horse.
Leave. But
no, it's him in the air, like naked and reaching his hand out.
Before they leave, like they make a point that he grabs that. Right. And so I'm like, there's something on that. I don't know if it's like plays into the finale or something. Like he's writing a dream or something, and it's like,
well, his drawings
comes to fruition.
It's something that he's like, oh, this is a way they find a solution. So I think there's going to be something that they do that's important. Just right now, it seems like there hasn't been anything really that they've done.
Yeah. I don't think that it matters too much. You know what I mean? Like there's so many characters, and you're bound to have some just kind of get the short end of the stick. What were you saying?
I was gonna say people were super upset because they were like, Will is so upset because Mike came on Will's birthday. He got there on Will's birthday, true. Right? And so and people were like, yeah, wow, what a bunch of jerks. And the writers were like, yes, we actually forgot that was Will's birthday.
Wow,
So people-
that's so meta.
People were so mad.
So they said his birthday. They established his
They
birthday.
establish it and then they put
In
something on
in
that
season
date.
one.
What are the chances that they randomly chose the same
Yeah.
date?
Yeah.
And then they were
Oh,
like,
that's so unlucky.
we feel terrible about this
That's
because
unlucky,
we're gonna
dude.
have to shift Will's birthday because they're like,
Yo.
And all the fans are like, how do they not know their own source material? I'm like, how do you know that's Will's birthday?
Wait, how do they
So in the first season,
no, in this last season,
well,
when do they say the date?
they don't say it. It's on the film record, the
Dude.
video recorder.
Easy.
March-
Go in, edit
March
that
22nd,
crap.
I
Go
think.
edit that crap
Yeah.
out. It's online. Update it.
yeah, it's just
I would do
crazy
that
though how people
instantly,
were
dude.
upset.
yeah, people were super mad.
But even bringing up what you were saying, like Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11, she was saying in an interview, she's like, they need to kill off characters. We got too many
Yes,
characters.
I agree.
So, which is kind of interesting. That
She's selfish.
she's saying that.
Kill her off,
But
I
I think there
many,
are
dude.
characters
More
that
Murray.
I'm like, yeah, I think you do.
And they're
kinda-
introducing new
You would be
ones.
okay with getting rid of some characters. I think.
Yeah.
Like Argyle, I don't think he needs to last. Like
Kill 'em
Dustin's girlfriend, like she doesn't.
Oh,
like she's served
no,
her
don't
point.
kill
Not
her.
kill
What
her,
the
but I'm saying like.
Kill her
Kill
anyway.
everyone.
Poison?
Like they don't need to.
Axe 'em.
They don't need to move through. Does that make sense? For
sure.
Like,
I mean,
you just kind of trim the fat on those things, especially for the final season. You're like, okay, we got this group. I think you're gonna have somebody die in the
main
next
group?
2 episodes.
In the main group?
Yes.
Okay.
So either Lucas, Dustin, Max, someone is dying from
So,
the main crew.
one-
One or two.
We should just kind of make a wild guess on who you think might get
Eddie's
axed.
dying. Eddie's not making
Okay,
it.
he's not a main character.
Oh, you're okay. So
Of
Yeah,
the
you said it's the
original main
original crew.
characters. Yeah, original crew.
Okay.
Out of those, what might die? What do you guys think?
Are we including Steve in the original crew?
Yeah.
I think Steve's dying.
this
And
season,
I think
Okay.
he dies at the end of the season.
Awesome.
And I'll give you a bonus.
Yeah, we give me a bonus.
They'll never kill Dustin, but I'll say Dustin.
No,
no, they're not both
they
dying.
won't.
They're killing. They're
The dream team.
They're
If
killing,
you get that right, you get a bonus.
Hey.
point.
Yeah,
That's-
no, if they're killing Steve, they cancel.
They're,
yeah.
they're,
You gotta have the
sticking with it.
heartbreak.
Whatever.
they're killing Will. He's gonna die.
Okay.
I think they're setting up that he's
Like, we
gonna.
don't care about your birthday.
That's why they forgot about it.
I think
We're
it's
killing him anyway.
I think it kind of plays into that aspect of like he's gotten the short end of the stick all the time.
Right.
I think he does something to be the hero and
Okay.
die.
I feel like he's already been the hero.
Especially because he's like wanting people to notice him, especially his best friend, right? He wants Mike to notice him. I think
would be sad.
I think he sacrificed himself saving Mike and 11, and I think that is the end of the season. I also think that
Wait, so you've said
Will's dying,
Will-
and they're gonna eventually kill Steve. I don't know if it's
Will, Steve.
this. I don't know if it's this season or it's next one, but I think those two are gone. So
You said this season, bro.
this season. I think, yeah, they're just this
they're
season.
not Steve. Steve doesn't die this season.
Steve got
Will
a-
dies this season. The girl
Main crew?
Robin.
Robin dies.
Okay,
Not
Okay.
part of the main crew.
Yeah,
The OGs.
but that's fine. I mean, very close to Steve. You know what I mean? They're
I
very
hope
like.
Mike and Lucas die. Okay, that's my hope.
But you're hoping, but you don't think so. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
What
I
about
think
you,
Will.
Mick?
Man, that's a tough one. I mean, I said before I think Steve is on the chopping block, but I hope it's not. I mean, Steve is just
He's
too,
so well loved.
he's too cool.
I mean, they could kill Jonathan. I'd be cool. I'd be cool with that.
What the heck? You guys are brutal.
I would like that.
I see you, Jonathan, and I raise you.
Yeah, I'll say Jonathan.
Okay. Hey, easily
Jonathan
sold.
and Argyle go out in a blaze.
Nice.
Oh, not Argyle, dude. He's my boy.
You got
Yeah, I will say, yeah, Ella's safe, I think. I would be very surprised if she died because I feel like it's like the obvious choice that she
Right.
should make this ultimate sacrifice. But the reason why I think she stays is because she's been bullied and she hasn't gotten the chance to live like a normal life. So I'm not sure if they would take that away from her. But it'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I think Steve dies because I think people would
It would
be
be the
really
most
sad. It'd be very
emotional one, I
impactful.
feel like,
yeah. I think it's just Steve. I don't think they're going to touch the younger kids. I think it's just Steve goes. They don't. There's no
crazy.
better way.
I got that.
I gotta touch the
They're
young
not going to kill the kids. Like none of these are better. Like I'm not doing good. How'd you guys feel about Eddie? We haven't really talked
liked him.
too much about Eddie.
Eddie was
New
cool.
character, the DM of the Hellfire.
He was annoying at
Homies.
first, but he got a lot better as the season went on. And I think he'll probably die.
Okay.
I could see him going. I at first I was like, oh, is this like another Billy type character? Maybe not as extreme, but at the end of the first episode into the second one, he was definitely like a good guy.
Yeah.
I'm an Eddie fan.
What did you think, Josh?
Yeah, I thought he was really cool.
Yeah.
I really liked his
Hair.
I really liked his hair.
Really liked his hair.
Way better than Will's.
His character
big
was
hair.
awesome. Plus, he has the awesome. You're telling me I need to follow you into Mordor.
I love that.
Yeah.
That was a really good line.
He was like, what?
What's the Shire?
I love that.
Shire's
crap.
on fire. He's just he's a cool character, and I felt really bad for him.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
He's like, I mean, I guess he's dealing drugs, but whatever.
Yeah,
He's just trying to help that
Yeah,
girl
just
out.
a misdemeanor, dude.
People make mistakes.
But yeah, just like him being stuck in that situation of like everyone thinks he killed that girl.
Yeah, getting
and
framed
he's like,
basically.
no one believes me, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That was a cool turn. How they're like, he's like, you're never gonna believe me, and they're like,
Try
yeah,
us.
Yeah.
pretty much.
I kind of liked his. Was it his uncle? Or-
Yeah, his uncle was good
I liked
too.
I liked the actor. He was actually good. Like kind of this hard guy that's just like, it's not in his like demeanor or what do you say? It's not in his whatever. That was cool. I like that. I think Eddie's a really good character, and it's hard to kind of introduce new characters this late in the game.
Right.
I think they did a really good job. Example: the basketball guys, in my opinion,
Zac Efron.
wasn't really great. It didn't hit very well for me. But they're supposed to be villains,
Yeah, you're
right?
not supposed to like
You're not
them.
supposed to like them, right? Yeah.
What did we haven't really talked about Hopper a lot,
Right,
but
right.
what did you guys think about Hopper in Russia?
I liked his story. I think it almost to me kind of suffered how the California stuff did, just because it was like it seemed to be drawn out a lot. But I've always been a Hopper fan.
He's your
I love
father.
my dad, so
Who's your dad?
for those that don't know, my dad looks exactly like David Harbour, so that's why. But yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked the stuff with the Demogorgon and them like fattening them up for the execution. I thought was really cool. But yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Like I said, that was one of the more interesting parts for me, just because I want to see like how's he getting out of here. I thought I liked the Enzo and kind of their interactions. I really like. I think the best scenes for me in Stranger Things are the ones that have like an emotional tinge to them, and he's always been in all the seasons. He's had a really emotional part to his story, with his daughter and all that kind of stuff. And so him talking more about that and, doing that, like I used to think I was cursed, but I think I'm the curse, that was really good. And kind of how they did all that. And then I think probably my favorite scene is when they get out of the Demogorgon, right? And they're like from one cell to another, it's like, looks like right. Looks like we're not going to get you. I really thought we were going to get that miracle. And the door opens, and they get ready, and then it's like the sound goes away, and it's just the music, right? And the camera like goes from the front to around to then he sees
Joyce,
Winona Ryder. And they hug. I just thought that was like one of the best scenes. The acting in it was very emotional. So for me, I think he's probably the best actor on the series. And so everything he does, even if it's, I don't know, it just elevates everything, because even when he's in the prison and he's trying to take off the shackles, like that was really done because he sold that performance, like all that kind of stuff, like watching it. I feel cold when he's there, like it's just really well done. So for me, it just always...
when he was like, hit it.
Yeah.
Hit it. And you're like...
And he's like,
bro.
yeah. And he's like,
Sold
I'll
it
break
really
you,
well.
right?
Good
Like all that kind of
sounds.
stuff. So
Yeah.
to me, I really enjoyed that. But I'm ready for them to be back into Hawkins. Yeah. And I think the biggest moment I'm waiting for is him to get back with 11.
Well, she's gonna die. So
I just think that's going to be like
Yeah,
an
that's gonna be
awesome
awesome.
scene. They've done such a good job with the other little scenes that one's going to be like the huge one that I think
Well,
'cause-
I can't wait for.
Yeah, I'm actually getting goosebumps thinking about it because the whatever the professor, the doctor guy is talking to 11 about, think about that anger.
Yeah.
That moment of anger and that memory. And it's like, but there was that better thing where it's happiness, right? The
Right.
trigger was happiness. And it's like, I can tell that there's gonna be a moment where
Yes.
she's struggling and she sees him, or he arrives and she gets super
Yeah.
happy and like needs that push. Like, it's gonna be an awesome moment.
Yes.
And I don't want to overhype it. Right.
Overhype it, dude.
I
It's
need
not
to
going to
be-
happen. Han Solo showing up too.
Harrison Ford, not all the narrative.
Hype it up, bro.
Oh,
How to start the hype engines.
I'm not making that mistake, brother. Oh gosh.
Hype engines in full go.
For the Hopper storyline, I felt like it felt like a spin-off.
Okay.
It felt like a spin-off for me, which
Hopper in Russia.
I had issues with, but it was a good story. So like I don't really care that much. It was just in the middle of this other story, you like
Yes. Yeah, I
shoot
can
off
see
to
that.
this other story. So for me, it took me out of it a little bit, not out of like the whole show, but like, yeah, it just kind of loses me a little bit. It's very disjointed because it's just such a stark difference in scenery and story. Like it's a story of how a man gets broken and he doesn't even break. He's so hard and he gosh dang it, my words today. But he stays he stays hard. You know what I mean? But he's getting,
No, I don't know what
he's getting tortured, right?
Right.
He's
Yeah.
frozen.
And he's literally being tortured and just being held barely alive. And it's just
Yeah.
like his acting's so good that like you believe every part of it.
Yeah.
And it was amazing when he did I'll give you my bread and soup or whatever if you break my ankle. And I was like, you're missing the chain. And then when I figured out they very obviously were like checking the chains, I was like, oh, that's so awesome. Like he's so smart. And like, that's rough. Like so crazy. They broke it just enough so I could like bend it out. Oh, that's crazy. Super, like not super gruesome, but very like visceral. And I think what they did with his character was really good. I just wish we're not even done with the season technically, right?
Yeah.
So on a season basis, I guess they didn't need to rush him anymore. I think they did a great job. It's just tough when you send them all the way to Russia. You know what I mean? It's so far away, and it's
Because it's a story that like it has to be told.
Right.
I guess if you
You
send
can't
them
just show up. Yeah.
you could have just not sent him to Russia. You could have
Right.
sent him to Canada. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? I was thinking that there's a shot, where it goes down the railway tracks and he's working there. I was like, they released that at the end of season 3. And that was like 3 years ago she was like, Millie Bobby Brown was like, it's taken us 3 years to film this whole season. And I'm like, how crazy is it that some of the shots from there are like, that was filmed like 3 years ago. And then compared to like other ones that were probably filmed a year ago, but it's like, it's nuts. Just to think about that.
It's probably a good thing to their benefit that it was just him and the older people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So the age difference.
Yeah,
you didn't
see
notice
the kids. Like, wait, what is that?
Exactly.
You're like, what?
Wow, one scene she's like a year younger. Like, yeah. So that was good. That worked out for him.
Yeah, I think for me the storyline worked. Like Mick was
sure,
saying,
for
we
sure.
need to tell the story.
Right.
For sure.
And so I think getting those extra like personal moments with Hopper just made it worth it for me.
Yeah.
Like that speech he gives about, he's talking about the other guy, all the other guys that were in Vietnam with them, their kids, were deformed, born. He finally has a daughter that she's healthy and perfect. And then she gets cancer. And it's just like, man, that is
with the orange whatever.
I can't
concoction.
remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Super orange or whatever it was.
It's orange and a number.
yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, so like just like a heartbreaking story for him, and just like how he's like, yeah, I'm the curse kind of a thing.
Agent Orange.
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
Isn't it?
That might have been
Agent
it. Yeah, I think you're right.
think so.
Yeah.
but yeah, just like you're such a
I was trying to remember what
You're messing up his rhythm, bro.
yeah, jeez, bro.
it's a historical color, guys. Agent Orange. He was an agent.
But yeah, so I mean, it just made it worth it for me, just like to get that moment with him. So
Yeah. Yeah.
when it comes to Hopper's story, actually, the Kung Fu guy, he was all right. Like I think
Murray.
I actually like Murray, dude.
Yeah.
But I thought the story was so good. If I had to poke a weakness, it was either him or her. Like something with that. Maybe the moment in the airplane was maybe my weakest, or where they're at the port. But I'm somewhere in there. I was like,
it's
okay.
little. Again, it's a show.
I just not buying it. That they're like,
no, but it is a little over the top as far like. Which is fine.
Bro, they're living in the upside down, bro. That's not over the top for you.
What I'm saying is, there's a difference.
Over the top comedic.
That's what I'm saying.
It felt funny.
There's a difference between like, the upside down and all that stuff, and then having an over the top like goofy character, where it's kind of like, okay, like I could have done without his.
Did you have issues with him in the previous season?
Yeah, I did. He's never been my favorite.
It's no fun, Jonah.
But this is me like picking apart actually a really amazing arc that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And if I have to pick a weaker spot, that's it.
Yeah.
But Hopper was so great. I really enjoyed that so much.
Yeah, calm down, Chip. We're just dropping a little,
Who's getting upset here?
I really enjoyed the chemistry between Joyce and Murray.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well done.
I didn't really like him that much in the other seasons. I like him in season 3.
Season 3 he was good. Season 1 he did, or season 2 he didn't do.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just kind of like, well, he gave Jonathan and Nance alcohol so that they could hook up.
Right.
So that's kind of creepy.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I
guys, it was the 80s.
Yeah, I think he's a funny. It wasn't over the top for me. Like it is over the top, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was actually buying it.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, you're a black belt, right? And he's like,
yes, I am.
He's like,
I didn't.
Isn't that the highest?
No. Here's the only reason why I didn't buy it is because he told us his win-loss record and who he lost to.
Yeah, 16-year-olds.
Yeah, Jason.
You think he's gonna lose to
funny.
a full-grown Russian man? Nah. But anyway, that's just my preference on it. But
Not a full-grown Russian man, but he destroys all the Russian soldiers in that room, like 6 of them.
yeah, so a
Drunk off of vodka.
little unbelievable for me, but that's just me. But it was a funny moment, but. It's like up against Hopper's story, which is very serious, very emotional, and then you have this little funny guy. Yeah. It's not my cup of tea.
Murray, baby. I hope he never dies. I want everyone else on the show to die except for Murray.
That's awesome.
No.
Yeah. Is there? Yeah. What else was there?
Did you guys like the whole thing with? So one was the first guy with superpowers, and then they tried to recreate the other kids with the same powers. Did you like that take on that part?
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit, but yeah, I think the character was good because it's like he was like carrying after Elle and kind of like trying to convince her to join his side, and I thought that was a good aspect of it. And the reveal at the end of her like just basically sending him to the upside down and creating a portal and that was cool. The way he turned into Vecna was kind of weird, I'm gonna be honest.
And struck by lightning.
That was weird, dude. That was weird to me.
Huh?
You like Star Wars?
No, I think so. I think I think what they did was him getting struck by lightning is what starts the process, but then it's him like
living there
is those things become part because it's like
but like when he gets shocked, like it instantly changes to that gray.
Right, it's the gray, but
and it could be magical lightning too. I mean,
the upside down.
There's probably other things going on.
There's nothing normal about the upside down, boys.
There's probably other things going on.
But yeah, I took it as like that was years of him like killing people and getting their like that. Like Ivan Ooze from Power Rangers movie,
Well, he does say that he does kind of make it seem like every person he kills, he's like, you're a part of me.
Yes, and it's like adds to it. So it's like his tentacles. So I think that's what those tendrils are. So I think it's kind of like showed like he started getting struck, he started turning that way, but this is like over
was
the
that the
years.
bad guy in Power Rangers that his belly would have a picture of their head when he swallowed them, like Kirby kind of?
No.
You remember that bad guy?
I don't remember.
There was a bad guy that literally like swallowed them, and then you can see like the Red Ranger's face.
I just remember Lord Zed who had the brain exposed.
Anyway, there's a character who literally does all that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You can see the inspiration from Mighty Morphin
That's
Power
right.
Rangers. Yeah,
Check it out.
Season
It's
1.
streaming now on HBO Max.
I did like the aspect of like the reveal of the stained glass window and kind of like I did like the drawing aspect where
thought that
they
was really cool.
redrew everything and they're like, oh, like I love that detective work kind of revealing stuff. That stuff I buy into pretty well. I like that stuff.
Yeah, or all the stuff with Dustin where he's like piecing things together and they're like,
Dustin's
he's
the
like,
man.
I've been right this whole time. Like, you gotta trust me. It was pretty funny.
I love the shot when both teams are riding the bikes and the
That
switches.
that is awesome.
Oh, it was so cool. And that whole thing when they were trying to get who is it? It's Steve, Nancy, Robin, and Eddie, right? When they're trying to get them back from the upside the upside down. And just the shot with the portal with them going through was really cool. And Nancy is getting I guess
Stun locked.
yeah, stun locked.
She's getting Vecned.
Armor
She's
lock.
getting stun
She'll get
locked
saved
right
by
now.
Eddie playing the electric guitar.
Yeah.
Poor Barb, though.
No
chance
No
for
justice for Barb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me why I hated her. You know, as Barb,
In that scene, you're
as
like,
Barb's
man.
dying in the pool and she's just getting it on with Steve. I was like, shame on you. I hope Vecna does take you. You deserve it.
So you're switching to Nancy
Hot take. So you want Nancy to die?
I wouldn't mind if she did.
You want her to switch
I'm not
places
saying-
with Barb?
I'm not saying
To
I
take
want
that
her-
out of context, and that's hilarious. I wouldn't mind if she died.
I mean, like,
so funny.
I'm not like, it wouldn't be like devastating if I was like, oh man, Nancy died. I'd
Right,
be like,
right.
I think
I'd
I'd
be
be
more
more
coming.
Yeah.
You're not a Nancy Stan.
No, I'm not a Nancy Stan.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Pam in The Office.
Get out of here.
Jeez.
You agree with me, and don't change it because Crystal's listening.
I am not at liberty to discuss this topic.
We're not talking about The Office. Yeah. But yeah, that was I really enjoyed the season thus far.
Yeah.
It's like technically it's still we're gonna get
Yeah.
two more.
2 more episodes, right?
Yeah, it's
3 more hours.
It's hard to
3 more
See, I like-
hours?
yeah, it's
2 hours and 19 minutes the finale.
Okay.
And then the other one's an hour and something.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, roughly.
so over 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wow,
would say
that's
so
awesome.
far I've really liked it. It's hard to like put a final, bow on it
Without
seeing the last bit, but I'm
Volume 1 was good.
volume 1, yes.
I think they've set themselves up really well because
Yes.
the episodes are so long, but it didn't feel long.
Right.
And they have so many moving pieces. It doesn't feel like there's too many things to sew up. Like I think it's doable. I guess the basketball guys are kind of just a thing. Like I don't really know if what's
Well,
that.
now it's the whole town is going to be after him.
Right. So it's like maybe it just merged into the town and the basketball guys are now the town. It feels like kind of like a waste of time with the basketball guys personally, but yeah, I think this is doable. And I think it might actually have a really nice, like clean, like ending to it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you guys want to talk
Final
about?
thoughts. Final thoughts.
2 upside down thumbs.
2 thumbs up and the upside down.
Yes.
Okay,
Which would be
Right side up.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
That wasn't confusing. What'd you guys think? Same thing?
maybe 3.
3
Thumbs up.
All right.
Nice.
You lend me a
Yeah,
thumb?
lend you a thumb.
That's fine. I really enjoyed it.
Can't
Yeah.
compete with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to give any thumbs, but it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I think we already talked about it. Like, it's my favorite season
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Really well. The pacing's done really well. I mean, it looks beautiful. Like, it's just shot really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, like you said, that mirrored shot
Yeah,
where
that
they're
was
So
It was
cool,
awesome.
yeah.
all those scenes were really well
I fist
done.
bumped them, too. Let's go! Bikes on bikes on bikes!
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Probably the best season for me. And we'll see if they
And
deliver with the ending because I think, it all.
Jonah's gonna take a
that it all
180.
depends.
I didn't like
but I'm
the ending.
Sometimes if
Sure.
the ending,
It can
if
fall
they don't
flat.
deliver on the ending,
Yeah.
it might leave you with
Like Lost.
Stop doing this because you love Lost. You always do this on the podcast. I just want to tell you guys, Josh is Tom's a different person off the podcast. On the podcast, he has a completely different opinion.
I'm a troll, baby.
We just know how to poke the bear.
I know what the combination is.
Yeah.
But yeah,
reaction.
well,
It's
I'm
one
excited for the end, the next 2 episodes, and to see. As of now, it's like the best one.
And what was
We'll
the
see.
date for the
July 1st.
July 1st? Let's go. You get fist bump to that, dude. Let's go.
Fist bumps.
Fist pumps. Fist bumps. Fist bumps.
Oh, here we go.
But yeah, that'll do it. Part 1. Is it technically called
Volume
Part 1?
one.
Volume
One. Okay, whatever it is. That's it for us. What'd you guys think about it? Let us know in the comments or wherever you guys are talking. Because I mean, I'm looking forward to the last 2. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
3+ hours. That's going to be dope. But yeah, let us know, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.
Bye.
Hashtag Team Murray.